We respectfully request the Sangha grave virtues for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tặng tình, vì thứ pháp hội cấp nhớ thiết chúng sanh. Thịnh chuyến diệu phạm luân giao đạo ngã mùng, như há liễu sanh thoát từ ly khổ đạc lạc, tốc chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Nam mô Sa Đan Thổ Sư Thế Đô Ye Ở La Hờ Đi San Miao San Pu Tô Xie. Nam mô Tạc Đạc Tha Tu Ya Đà Ya La Đế Tam Miệu Tam Bồ Đà Thoa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I'm able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual principles. Wu shang sheng sheng wei miao fa bai qian万劫难遭遇，我今见闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master Ching Liang, Great Master YongHua, all good monks and nuns, and all good advisors of Emitofuo. 诸佛菩萨、精良大师、智父上人各位、出家人各位、上智士弥陀佛。Hello everyone, today is the 22nd of December 2024. We are here to continue discussing the first chapter of the Avatamsaka Sutra. We're on slide 818. Okay, we can go right into it unless you have any questions. Yes, go ahead.
Thank you, Master. 3 days ago, I got stroke-like symptoms because of the low sugar. After take some sugar, was recovered. But these 2 days, I test the sugar level was pretty low. Yesterday was like 34, today 25. Do I need to concern these numbers?
You know how many people have gone on fast before?
Sorry?
You know how many people, our people have gone on fast before?
Yeah.
Quite a few.
Yeah.
Did anyone ever have to take any sugar level?
No, because just because I was like stroke, like paralyzed, so that's why they got the machine to test it.
That's one explanation.
No, but nobody.
No need to worry about it.
Okay, thank you.
It's nonsense. It's good to learn from the medical perspective what happened, but it's nothing to worry about. Okay, anyone else? You haven't died yet, have you? Okay. That's the bottom line.
Not yet.
You've only lost one arm at most, so what's the big deal? Use the other. Celestial Prince, moon of pure enlightenment, gain a passage into liberation of, giving rise to great deeds and functioning for the sake of all sentient beings.
净觉月天子，得普为一切众生，起大业用解脱门。
Commentary. Shouldn't listen to garbage. Whatever people think, what they do is their own fiction, their imagination, their false thinking. The busybodies have nothing to do. That's why they mind your business. They should be minding their own business. When you fast, you mind your business because that's all the strength you have. And you certainly don't listen to idiots. Who sow seeds of doubt and fear in your head. Whereas this is supposed to free you from your selfish plotting. Okay. Moon of pure enlightenment. As a reminder, this is celestial princes of the moon, these celestial heavens up there. As you can imagine, lots of celestial heavens in the desire realms, a lot more heavens than you think. This is how big the world really is. The world, the Saha world here has so many different levels of heavens. And this is low-level heavens, and the levels of the moon and the suns are at the same level of the same layer of heavens, and this prince here got there, and he was assigned to be there in order to give rise to great deeds and functioning for the sake of sentient beings. Of course, you understand what it means, don't you? So according to Master YongHua's explanation, this is a standard Chinese explanation. Great deeds refers to great undertakings. Great undertakings are the undertakings that go for the biggest end goals. They don't compromise. And according to the Chinese, according to the traditional Mahayana approach, it's to become a Buddha. Okay? And because when you give rise to this desire to become a Buddha, you actually, something magical happens. Actually, you are activating your bodhi nature. Okay? And that's what is called the great functioning of bodhi. What happens to people, ordinary people, is that they don't believe. You tell them you should become a Buddha, they say, oh yeah, I'm perfectly happy being a senator. I'm perfectly being happy where I am right now. I don't want to change. I'm perfectly content with my life because I'm happier than you. And it's only because people do not have enough blessings. That's why they fail to see the big picture. In Buddhism, in order to become a Buddha, you need to start with that resolve, the bodhi resolve. It's I will become a Buddha. And for almost all of us, we don't know what it means. But we all thought that's a starting point. And that's exactly what Mahayana is about. You begin by following instructions, having faith in the fact that your teacher has more wisdom than you, and therefore you should do what you're told. And that's how you free yourself from your own narrow-mindedness, your own selfishness. Okay? And the secret of this is that, as I said, once you made a resolve, okay, lifetime after lifetime, the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas will assist you. Without you even knowing it. It's not supposed to be something logical where you have concrete facts like the scientists and the engineers ask for. Facts, proofs. Okay? Facts and proofs are for the weak minds. The great minds do not need facts, do not need proof. What do they need? This is the difference between great minds and ordinary minds. Yes, one.
Thank you, Master. Faith.
Faith. That's the only thing you need. It's beyond what your mind can understand. And put its arms around. It's not possible for your mind to grasp. So the only way is for you to give rise to faith and to follow instructions. This is how you activate the great functioning of your own Buddha nature. If you do not have faith, you'll never be able to activate your Buddha nature. Never. And this is so Mahayana. You're always so comfortable with yourself, so sure of yourself, proud of yourself. Say, you figure it all out by now. But it's not the case. There's so much more you can't figure out. For example, the sickness is in your body. You can't handle it. The depression in your head, you can't handle it. If you're so smart, if you're so brilliant, if you're a Nobel laureate, and you can't even handle your own depression. You know how many Nobel laureates have depression? Quite a few. No one wants to talk about it. They only want to talk about things that make them feel better about themselves instead of rising above themselves. That's what great deeds pertains to. Great deed is you do things to rise above your own mediocrity. Who are we talking about in terms of mediocrity? All of you who make a living depending on your thinking mind. I'm getting more radical every day, and I apologize. Maybe it's my sickness. It's like it helped me realize I cannot afford to waste time anymore. Yes, one.
Thank you, Master. There's a question here from Sophia Gu. Hello, Master. Is practicing family law considered to be a proper livelihood? Family law involves divorce, property settlement, and child protection. I am considering on becoming a family lawyer, but I am worried that this career creates heavy offenses, especially because Master YongHua warns against divorce. Thank you, Master.
Then follow Master YongHua. Why do you ask me? You want me to contradict my own master? I refuse to answer that on taking the fifth, on the grounds that I might incriminate myself. Okay, good luck to you. So, the great deeds are what you're all capable of doing. We're not talking about bodhi here, folks. Yes, you start first by making the resolve for bodhi, and that will kick in your Buddha nature, activate your Buddha nature, because unless you activate it, nothing great ever happens, folks. Nothing. But let's not do it like the Chinese, like the Asians. I say, okay, so now I resolve to be a Buddha, whoopee. And then what? What do I do the rest of my life? Because to me, it really bothers me because I don't know. Buddhahood is so far away from me. Huh? So I break Bodhi resolve, okay, eventually will bear great Bodhi fruit, cultivate great deeds of Bodhi. What are the great deeds of Bodhi? See, the way the Chinese explain it is too theoretical. To me, this is a real process here where you say, I want to become a Buddha, and Buddha and Bodhisattvas, please bear witness to this. This today, this person here wishes to become a Buddha. Okay? When you do that, all of the Buddhas will know of you. All of them. And when they know of you, it also activates your Buddha functioning, your Bodhi functioning. Okay? And so how does this Prince Moon of pure enlightenment give rise to great deeds? For the sake of living being. Yes.
Emitofuo Master. Well, I think the celestial Prince Moon give rise to great deeds, like helping the beings cultivating.
Okay.
So I think cultivation is a great deed.
Okay. The distinction here is this Mahasattva, Prince Moon of pure enlightenment here. He gives rise to great deeds himself and his great functioning of bodhi, because once he set his mind to do great deeds to benefit living beings, the more his bodhi nature kicks in. Does it make sense to you? The nature is there, but unless there's a need for it, it's kind of lazy. You say, okay, if you want to take it easy, I take it easy. But if you want to do great things, then I have to go to work. Does it make sense? It's all about the big picture. So instead of plotting for yourself constantly, every day, and it's normal, if you live a normal life, definitely plot for your career, take care of your family, okay, and so forth. But you should have some time. This is why we're studying this sutra here, because we see that from our part, most of our time is plotting for ourselves, whereas these great beings, most of the time is to plot for others. So there must be a compromise somewhere, and that will determine your level of attainment. Okay, so keep that in mind. 8:20. One day you get there, you can ask me, what does it mean, great deeds, for this guy? But by then I'd be dead already. Celestial Prince, great majestic light, gain a passage into liberation of, everywhere severing all doubts and delusions.
大威德光明天子，得普断一切疑惑解脱门。
Okay, this guy has very majestic light. Light, okay, the brightness that his wisdom light emits is very majestic, inspire respect, inspire awe, like a king. Like a king, when you get in the presence of the king, most of us would be in awe. Anyone ever been to the presence of King Charles? I don't see him that often. But I saw, for example, videos of the late Queen Elizabeth. Anyway, let's not go there. So, he emits a majestic light, and the function this light here to sever all doubts and delusions. And Master YongHua says, why does he inspire fear, majestic, great majestic light? Master YongHua says that when living beings see this Prince of the Moon, great majestic light, they give rise to fear. And he says, living beings give rise to fear when they see his light. When they see him, it's because of his virtue. And this is the difference in the real world versus the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, there's a lot of beings, invisible beings who behave differently, who are at different wavelengths, and they have different interests. They have a lot of more powers than we realize. Okay? Lucky for us, they are not allowed to interfere with us because of these celestial princes. These celestial princes inspire fear and awe in these invisible beings to keep them in check. And keeps them in check because of his virtues. You can use your strength, your power, your position to beat up on others, to impose your will. That will not inspire respect because it lacks virtues. There's nothing virtuous about using your power to have it your way. Actually, when you're in a position of power and you don't use it at all, and instead bear the disrespect, and the uncooperativeness, this is how you gain reputation for virtues. That's the difference between the spiritual world and the physical world. (8:22). Yesterday.
Master, I do have a question about the previous slides. I was curious about what deeds the Celestial King was doing for sentient beings.
Which one?
The previous slide, the previous Celestial King. Yeah, the giving rise to great deeds. You were right at right here. Giving rise to great deeds and functioning for the sake of all sentient beings. What are they doing for the sentient beings? Thank you.
What is the question?
What are the deeds they are doing for the sentient beings?
Can't hear you.
What are the deeds they are doing for the sentient beings?
You're not there yet. You can't ask about this. You have to earn it. When I explain prematurely, it falls on deaf ears. There's no ideas. And then what happens when I explain too much, is a bunch of smart aleck monks and nuns would say, oh, I know what it is. I don't need to cultivate anymore. I don't need to practice anymore. I have all the answers already. Yes. One.
Thank you, Master. There's a question here from Robin's Nest. Emitofuo, Master, I would just like to ask a question. I have been attentively listening to you talk about celestial moon palace bodhisattva in a previous sutra discourse. There you mentioned that we would be much better off making offerings and asking for his guidance and blessings instead of asking for help from lower level heavenly deities. Can you explain on this further? Are there any mantra or invocations based around celestial moon palace bodhisattva? Thank you.
The mere fact that we've been reading about this sutra, this section, and taking so much time explaining it to you in such great details as has never ever been done before, is in order to introduce to you these important, these big wigs. So it's like name dropping. For the Avatamsaka Sutra, they're dropping names. The sutra says, okay, Prince of the Moon, so and so and so, Prince Moon, and so forth, and then they follow by the verses, and that's, if you even do that, you don't even need to explain much like the way YongHua explains things here. That will create affinity for you with these beings. And so in the future, if you just happen to say, okay, so I wish I owe today, it's a matter of conditions arising. For example, you are a farmer well, the Japanese don't listen to us, but anyway, it doesn't matter. You're a farmer in Japan, and traditionally you pray to the mountain god for good rains, and not too much, not too little, and a good harvest later on. Okay, then. And what they typically do is they hire a Japanese priest to conduct ceremony for them before they planted the seeds, the rice seedlings, and then maybe before the harvest as well. Okay, and so they really believe in this, and it works for them. And there's nothing wrong with it. However, if you happen to be on the more advanced side, then you could pray to that for that particular celestial prince of the moon, whatever, I forgot already. Okay, then even you only have to do it once, and you're done. For a long, long time. That's how it works. Yes, 3.
Master, the reason I asked the previous question is because you said we are mediocre, because we concern mostly about ourselves using our mind, and but I'm just like very curious about how bodhisattva function, how they think, and what they do for people. It's a lot of theory I've heard, and it's always very secretive, that everything you guys have done for us. When time is appropriate, would you mind share a little bit more details so we can get inspired and see the true example of the role model there? I understand the previous question was not the right question to ask for that. I just want to give a little bit context. So, Master, if you deem it as appropriate, maybe in future teachings, you can share some lights of that. Thank you.
Some things you need to ponder. That's part of the training. You're not babies. Sometimes sometimes it's necessary to give you the answer and give you the push directly. Sometimes we let you rot. We let you struggle. And that's part of the training. There's no need to worry about it. Just try your best. That's all. That's what Master YongHua says. Try your best. Give it your all. That's it. Don't worry so much about results. Give it your all. Give it your best. And if you're wondering about it, then you should be. Keep on wondering about it. How do I do great deeds in order to activate my great functions, like these bodhisattvas? And of course, you're all smart. You can figure it out. It's not, I don't need to spell it out for you. Sometimes I can't spell it out for you. Yes, sir.
Hello, Master. Going back to slide 820, the name, I just wonder about the name. I think the English missing, for the Chinese, they have the Tao, Wai Da, Guang Ming Tin Zi. So the English translation seems to miss the virtuous part of his name.
What's missing?
Virtuous. Wai Da, the word Da.
Yeah, virtue, yeah. You're right. Add virtue. Great, majestic virtue. Light. Thank you. That's why you talked about virtue here. Very good. And virtue is something you earn. It's not given to you. You have to earn it. When you don't have enough, according to Master YongHua here in 822, then you'll be frozen in the presence of people who have more way virtue than you. That's not uncommon for when I was there, Master YongHua, to force his students to go up and speak Dharma. And it's nerve-wracking because on the men's side, most nights it's low-level monks, but the nuns, they all show up. It's the nuns who are scary, not the monks. The nuns had more way virtue than the monks. Okay? And so it's a way virtue. The virtues you accrue from cultivating the way. And so that's why Master YongHua's assembly at the city 10,000 Buddhas is one of the worst ones for you be guest speakers, because these women nuns are vicious. I saw them as a novice cut the guest monks to pieces by asking them pointed questions, and they enjoy it. Yes, some of these monks had a bad attitude, but if you really are higher level, what is the matter with you? You lack way virtue. If you use a higher level to embarrass someone who is a guest to your temple, there's no virtue there. The monk should have scolded them and say, no, you don't do this. Maybe not there, right there, but after. That's when you say, hey, you screwed up. You make us look bad. There's no virtues in embarrassing people. Because you know what? Word spreads. It's going to hurt them, not us. They need to make a living off this, not us. It's unclean. I don't like it. It's unworthy of what Master YongHua's Dharma is about. We opened our doors, invited a lot of people to come and share the Dharma with us. And there's this sneer, this snicker, say, oh, you are so inferior, you are Catholic, you are Jewish. And they don't say it, but it's in the face, in the questions they ask, the snicker. It's and whose fault is it? It's Master YongHua's fault. You don't do that to the guests. It's uncool. It makes Mahayana look bad. If they come and they manifest spiritual powers and they fly in the air and so forth, we're happy for them. No need to be afraid of. If they get to impress our disciples and get them to give them money, they need the money more than we do. We have plenty already. It's just the arrogance is so unbecoming of Mahayana. I don't want you to ever do this. I know people are scared of coming to our temple because you are scary. But these people, they really enjoy cutting people down by the knees. It is not cool. If you're stronger, let me remind you, if you're stronger, you have way virtue. And people, there's plenty of people who are so stupid, they can't see it. What's the point in beating them up? If I put you there and give you power already, you need them to fear you? No, you don't. There's no virtue in demanding that people fear and respect you. You're behaving like worldly people. And we're wearing this and behaving like worldly people. See, I'm better than you. I'm a better monk than you. Oh my God. So what this is all about? I'm a better monk than you. That's the meaning of my life. And that's a great deed. I know that it's such a struggle. It's fasting, then it's crossing your legs, eating one meal a day, sleeping, and people always watching you, criticizing you. You're never good enough, okay? But that is designed to make you tougher, not weaker. If you don't pay attention, you can't go that far. That's what I do. I sit here and beat up on you and give you tongue lashing because I see so many serious mistakes that prevent people from fulfilling their potentials. Guess what? Everyone else is saying, oh, you're the greatest. Come. We welcome you. You're such an asset. Anywhere you go, certainly with us. Hell no, you're not that important. You're a dime a dozen. You don't believe how many people we have just waiting for a chance to step up. Don't think you're that special. Let me remind you, we are the most scary group because our standards are so high. You're being given a chance to prove your worth and improve yourself. Keep that in mind. You're not that important. 825. At that time, Celestial Prince Moon received the Buddha's awesome spiritual power, universally contemplated the celestial multitudes in all the moon palaces, and spoke the following verses.
尔时，月天子成佛神力，普观一切月宫殿中诸天会众会，而说颂言。
Okay, so now we're in the verses section. The Buddha emits light pervading the whole world, illuminating lands of the 10 directions.
照耀十方诸国度，佛放光明遍世间。
Ooh, fix the Chinese, that looks weird. Okay. Slice it out, put it here. Okay. How come? So I put this over here, I guess. The Buddha is light pervading the whole world. Okay. Buddha's light can reach everywhere. In this world, not just this world, but all the worlds. Illumining lands of the 10 directions. He doesn't stop at his own land here in the Saha world, but he also illuminates all the other lands as well, all the other Buddha lands as well. Whether it's pure land or impure land, there's no discrimination for him. He will illuminate it. Yes. 5.
Thank you, Master. I had a question about virtue and doubt. When you're explaining virtue and how the greater the loss, the more people see you as virtuous, that makes a lot of sense to me as it pertains to like a monk and way virtue, trying to build the highest as they can. But as a lay person, like, I mean, I just think that people would see me as a loser, you know, and wouldn't take my like mundane life seriously. So how do you value virtue as a person who's still a lay person?
I think the sound system is kind of weird. It's still a little bit off to me. You can hear him, right, from your speakers, but where I sit, I can't really hear him that well. I hear about 80%, 85%. That's it.
Is it quiet or muffled?
A little bit muffled.
Okay.
A bit blurry.
Okay, we'll fix it.
So could you repeat the question, please?
Thank you, Master. I had a question about virtue and doubt. I'm a lay person, so I still have like many other concerns in my life. Mostly I was just thinking about my son and thinking about like fighting for him, you know, in a bunch of different ways that I have to because of his disability. And I think about like how I should like take a loss. How the more loss you take, the more virtuous you are. And I feel that like I get so angry sometimes about like advocating for him or like not getting my way. And I think that's like it creates like bad attachments and bad virtues within me, but at the same time I want to advocate for him. So I have this like doubt between like being continually virtuous and then also like letting my anger fuel like my needs and wants that are, yeah.
You have to compromise sometimes, somewhere. It's not in a perfect world. You try your best. You try your best possible. You can't always take losses. As compared to others who cannot take losses at all. They're too smart. Each one of us will have to decide how far we can take this. You are not a left-home person. Even left-home people, they can't take losses either. They're plotting for the they own as well. So it's a compromise you have to make, and something you need to experiment, that's all. There's no one-size-fits-all solution for all of this. It's a concept. When you say, okay, I like this concept, let's see how much I can use it. That's what it's about. You want me to tell you exactly how to behave from 8 a.m. till 11 p.m.? No, you try, that's all. (829) Proclaiming inconceivable vast great dharmas, destroying forever the darkness of sense and being's delusion.
演不思议广大法，永破众生痴惑暗。
Okay. What Buddha does is he emits his light, his wisdom light, and reaches, that's what he does constantly throughout the 10 directions, all the Buddha lands. Okay? Shakyamuni Buddha, he does it right now, and then even reaches the Western Bliss Pure Land as well. Okay? And when the light is able to reach us, the light proclaims inconceivable, vast, great dharmas. And so this is another form of teaching from the Buddha, teaching by light. He doesn't have to say anything. But the light that he emits and that shines upon sensing beings, they actually are the result. They are speaking inconceivable, vast, and great dharmas. Okay, destroying forever the darkness of sentient beings' delusion. With this light here of his Dharma, it can destroy the darkness of sentient beings' delusion. Our delusion exists because of the darkness in our minds. We fail to give rise to faith, and in particular, believing in our own greatness is because there's the dark side of our mind where the demons are focusing their forces, their headquarters, so that they can protect themselves. There's a lot more going on than you think. You think that just life is like what you see there, cars and money and food and temples and so forth. That's only visible world. This invisible world, which is actually pulling the strings of the visible world. And that's why you need these mahasattvas to keep them in check, because we cannot help ourselves. It should be clear to you that this long list of these beings, they're there, and look at what the things they do, is because they know that we need help. So please don't feel that we're doing them a favor by believing in them. Whether you believe in them or not doesn't matter. They still do what they do because it's their jobs. The jobs is to help the Buddha proclaim vast, inconceivable great dharmas and forever dispelling the darkness in sentient beings' delusion. The delusion, in other words, exists in your head because the demons are creating a mental block in your head. His states are boundless and without end, and throughout measureless aeons, constantly he teaches and guides.
境界无边无有尽，于无量劫常开导。
Okay. 832. Buddhas can manifest anything and everything. In other words, whatever you see around you, whether you believe it or not, is a manifestation of the Buddha state. That's why it says here, his states are boundless and without end. Okay? And we'll keep on evolving. Okay? Today, strawberry field. Next few centuries, it's going to be desert, an ocean, and so forth. You see? That's infinite states that he manifests. And all those are just reflections of his states. And throughout measureless aeons, he constantly teaches and guides. Okay. And so, tells you that he never stops. He never says, today I've done enough. I think I'll go on vacation. You know, I think it's time for me to go and pay respect to the sixth patriarch tomb. He never thinks for himself. He teaches and guides living beings. Yes, in the back.
Master, you say that everything is manifestation of the state of the Buddha, meaning that everything we see right now on each of us is just a state of the Buddha appear for us?
Yes. Including God. So he finds it a lot helpful for the Christians and the Catholics and the Mormons to believe in something temporarily. Okay, it's by gradations. You can't teach people advanced mathematics without teaching them about arithmetic first. So that's why in Buddhism we're all embracing. We don't feel threatened by any other religion, whether it's Buddhist or non-Buddhist at all. Okay. Yes, sir. 8.
I still don't understand that concept. So I wonder if you could give like an example of that.
Example of what?
Of how Buddha manifests on what we can see, or how is the Buddha connected to what we can see?
How he's connected to what?
What we can see, like what we can see, or like, yes.
I don't understand. What he can eat, he can see? What are you talking about? What is this sound thing? Either you crank it up, because I really struggle with the sound here. Could you repeat, please?
What does it mean? You could give an example of what we were talking about before, about how we can see what we see of Buddha, or how is it? I don't understand how I'm gonna phrase the question, but it's how does Buddha manifest that we see?
Are you asking for proofs?
No.
Then what are you asking for? I gave you the description already. Everything you see is a manifestation of the Buddha. Do you want proof? It's a statement. Everything you see with your own eyes, hear with your own ears, is a state of the Buddha. That's how pervasive he is. Think of it as his body includes all of ours. His body is the entire universe. So everything you see in this universe is his body. It's endless. What does it take to have an endless body like that? I tell you what you ought not to do in order to realize it is not to believe. Because this state of the Buddha has 3 bodies. The Dharma body, which is the entire universe, meaning all the air, all the earth, all the gold, all the silver, all the cryptocurrencies, all the politicians, all the people, all sentient beings, all insensient beings, they're part of the Buddha body. That's called the Dharma body of the Buddha. I don't understand it personally because bigger than what I can imagine or I can possibly see. But I have no doubt in my mind because people are a lot wiser than I am, like Master YongHua, like the sages here, Master Qingliang, Master Yin Guang, the many, many great sages before us believe it. So I may not be able to see what he's talking about, so I put my faith on the next group of people that are my opinion leaders. I need to believe someone. Certainly I don't believe in myself. The last thing you want to do is only believe in yourself. That's a dead end. You never do that. So, all the people I believe in, they said, yes, they agree with that teaching, and so I believe it. That's all I know. So this Avatamsaka Sutra here refers to the state of this Dharma body Buddha here, where he uses it to teach Mahasattvas. If the Bodhisattvas, Mahasattvas believe it like this celestial prince flower cow does, okay? And that's why his name is mentioned in this particular sutra among countless other Mahasattvas. Then I'm too small. I'm too unimportant, too insignificant not to believe. So that's the rationale behind it. Okay? Some things we cannot understand. All we have is to use our faith so that one day we too can see what these beings are talking about. Because this is the nature of Mahayana. We tell you about these things because we want you in the future to see these states for yourselves. Yes, one.
Thank you, Master. We have a couple of comments. Peter Salvia says, to have an endless body like the Buddha, then you have to be really, really big. And Diego says, Emitofuo, Master, to have a body like that, you need limitless blessings, merit, and virtue.
It's not that. The question should be, how come my body is so small? You guys looking at the wrong side of the equation. You only want to sit here and look over there. You ask yourself, how come my body is so small? How come I don't see what these Mahasattvas are seeing? Change your paradigm. Throughout measureless aeons, he constantly teaches and guides. He never stops teaching, teaching living beings. It doesn't mean that he only teaches bodhisattvas, mahasattvas, anyone that whose conditions have ripened, that can be helped by him, he'll help. He doesn't say, I only take care of the high-end people, and then the low lives like us, like a Way Mountain Temple. He says, let's leave it to One Yin Bodhisattva or someone. Okay? No, Buddha does not discriminate. I want you to know that, because you know why? Because you heard his name today. That's why he says, I can't. Now that they know I'm not discriminating, and I don't discriminate, I better save this person to make my point. Okay? So he constantly teaches and guides. So he teaches everyone, but also guides everyone. You see, that's Buddhism. You teach what? What's the difference between teaching and guiding? Teaching is teaching the principles. Guiding is what? Guiding, think of it as you as sheeps. Okay? You can teach all you want, but for some sheeps, teaching is not going to work for them. What you need is sometimes to kind of push them through the opening so that you can protect them against the wolves and the predators at night. So that tomorrow you can go bring them to the slope to get them fat and then sell them. Okay? So anyway, guides is that you tell them what to do. Okay? And that's what teaching, and this is what involves in Buddhism. You need to teach and guide. All right. Transforming all sentient beings with various modes of self-mastery, Flower Cow contemplates the Buddha in this way.
种种自在化群生，华寂如是观于佛。
He transforms all sentient beings with various modes of self-mastery. What does it sound like to you? Let me teach you first. Let me clue you in first. Transform here. Transforming refers that you make something that's not there appear. Okay? So, to transform, primarily in Buddhism, to transform someone is to change a person from evil to good, from deviant to proper. That's transformation. All right? Is that clear? So this is very advanced form of teaching. So he transforms all sentient beings with various modes of self-mastery. What does it mean? You Chinese people, you look it up, maybe they explain that in Chinese text. I was just curious. No, no one's looking. Quickly, I'm running out of time. Nothing new? No explanations? Yes, one.
Do you refer to 种种自在化群生, this 群? 群, it means many. So it didn't say the sentient being. It says basically many beings.
Okay. Anyone else? And that's how flower cow sees the Buddha. That's how what he sees the Buddha doing. He sees the Buddha transform sentient beings. You don't need to add all, but transform all sorts of sentient beings with all sorts of mode of self-mastery. This refers to his spiritual penetrations. It's not something we understand. This is a Buddhist state where, for example, if we need to transform an evil person, he might manifest as a demon king. To teach an evil person. If he wants to help a cat, he might manifest as a cat. Okay, so he uses all sorts of transformation. Okay, that's what 自在化. So he can make all these transformation with ease, without any efforts. Okay, and so it's natural to him when he needs to teach someone in a form of a person, he manifests as a person to teach you. And so earlier I told you about everything you see is a Buddha. That's general. But if you apply that individually, then it's just, this is just a specific instance of what you see as a Buddha. Am I making sense to you? Meaning that because of the Dharma of doing the same work, 同事, meaning you want, when you want to get close to someone, you want to have the same, as much in common as possible to create more bonding, easy to build trust. Okay, and so that's why Buddhas will transform into anything that he needs to transform us, to change us, including gold on the road there, okay, or whatever it takes in order to transform someone for the better. That's all. Okay? Okay. We stop here tonight. Thank you, everyone.